Hi, everyone. I am Alena with Celebrate Every Step, and I am an LSW, clinical hypnotherapist, psychic medium, and spiritual guide. And I help people deal with any physical, mental, emotional, spiritual pain they might be experiencing, helping them to feel and function their very best. And I am here with Kat of Tarot Readings by Kathy. And she is a professional certified intuitive tarot reader, psychic medium, clairvoyant, empath, and teacher. And she has been doing and studying tarot for over 35 years. And I love Kat very, very much.
Aw,
And we
love
used
you
to work
too.
together at I love you, Crystal Cauldrons. And I am so happy to have her on today and have her as part of my expo this year because you weren't able to make it work last year. So
Oh, so thank
thanks
you
for
so
being
much for
here.
inviting me. I'm honored.
Yes, it was such a good time last year. I am just like so excited for this year and just to see there are twice the vendors,
Wow.
and I'm hoping for even more people to come through the doors. And so, yeah, it's good times.
I'm very excited as well and looking forward to it.
Yeah, so tell me about Kathy. How did you get started in tarot 35 years ago? How is that possible when you look like you're 25?
Aw, thank you. Well, when I was 16 years old, I had my first tarot card reading. And people that know me, they probably already heard this story, but I'll tell it anyway. It was at the Clearfield County Fair, and there was this little adorable little gypsy lady that was reading tarot. And I sat down with her, and the cards were fascinating. She was fascinating. Everything she told me was spot on accurate. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I came back later that day for another reading, and I was like so interested. So that week I went out and bought my first tarot deck, and I've been obsessed ever since.
Yeah, and that's so neat how people just cross our path at the exact right time
Yeah.
and that it spoke so deeply to you. And I can attest that I have had many readings, both where we, sit down and actually do a full reading, and then some of the, back of the shop, hey, will
Yeah.
you pull a few cards for
On the
me?
fly. Well, absolutely.
Readings. And yeah, they have been spot on. So insightful. And, Kathy is also a psychic medium. So there's been just some really beautiful messages from my loved ones as well during the tarot readings. And, we do have multiple tarot readers coming to the expo, which I think is a great thing because then you really can begin to notice the difference between different readers. It's just like going to a different therapist or going to a different
Mhm.
doctor or whatever. You have to find somebody that feels right for you. And Kathy is very gentle and um, just feels so nurturing whenever you sit with her.
Well,
And
thank you.
yes, and I just always felt so loved when I was sitting across from her and having those conversations and asking the questions and looking to the cards for some answers to those. So,
Oh, well, thank you so much for that, Ellen. I appreciate that.
yeah. And so tell me about how your skills developed with this. So obviously when you first got that deck, you were figuring things out. Did you read
Mhm.
on it? Did you tap into your intuition right away? Tell me about how things have unfolded for you.
I've always been intuitive as a child. Um, I feel like I was just overly sensitive. Of course, you think that's a bad thing sometimes, but
Mhm.
I didn't realize at the time I was an empath and just picking up on other people's energies. When I got my first tarot deck, I was, reading the book, learning the cards. I was reading for friends, family, anyone who would let me, myself, anyone who would let me practice reading on them, um, and anything I could course, we didn't have the internet way back then.
Yeah.
So it was like,
In the real
you
olden
know,
days.
I mean, we kind of did, but it was just sort of emerging, and there was books, so I had, I would go to the library, I would get books, I would read everything I could about it, and but mostly the main thing was just trusting my intuition
Hmm.
and practicing, practice, because
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing it so much.
Yeah, and the practice is such a good point because, I'll even do this with my kids where we just kind of play a game with
Hmm.
intuition
Hmm.
where it's, okay, what color am I thinking of?
Hmm.
And feel into that, see it, using all of the senses because intuition does use all of our senses, and some of us have stronger of the seeing, some of us have stronger of the knowing, the
Hmm.
feeling, the smelling, whatever it might, the hearing. And so that it gets better with practice. And
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah. And I know for me, when I started, I was the big feeler as well, way
Hmm.
back to being a little kid of just
Hmm.
feeling everybody's stuff and having no idea what to do with that.
Right.
And then when I got into this work, it was the feeling and the knowing. But then as I practice that and practice that and practice that, now I do see, I do hear, I do smell. So
Hmm.
all of those senses do come along, but it's really important to focus in on what your strongest sense is to start with. So,
Right. Right.
and so with you, with the big feeling, how did you start to learn to manage that better?
It took me a very long time. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably, I would say within the last 10 years, I really started to understand it more and learned how to um, protect my energy more
Mm-hmm.
and not, absorb everything. I'm like a sponge.
Yeah,
So you can't absorb everything. You'll make yourself crazy. You'll make yourself sick. I had to learn how,
absolutely.
yeah, I had to learn how to protect my energy and to protect myself from certain types of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
been a long, slow learning process, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning. Still sometimes I overdo it and like you know open. I feel like sometimes I open up too much because I just care so much about what I'm doing.
Yeah,
But but,
absolutely.
but you do have to learn to protect yourself.
Yeah. And I think, whenever you are an empath, whenever you are a bright light, sometimes you do attract the toxic,
Absolutely.
narcissistic
Yeah.
people out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they feed off of that kind, caring, big feeling types of people.
Right.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. So you have to learn to, set up some boundaries along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning to do that, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. And energetic boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and then actual boundaries like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you can't treat me that way, or no, I'm
Right.
not going to put up with that behavior. Tell
Right.
me about some of the spiritual boundaries that you've put up around protecting your energy.
Um, Meditation is really big for me. I try to meditate, as much as possible. I work with crystals, um, saging my space, just setting the energy in my space, like in my home, in my workspace, um, you know, everywhere that I am, just setting that energy as protection
Mm-hmm.
and and as positive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think people can sense that, and I feel like if they try to like cross those boundaries, there's definitely uh, some red flags, I would say, that go up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're setting your intentions and holding
Hmm.
that space energetically, but with the crystals and the sage and things too.
Hmm.
But then now you've become more aware of the red
Absolutely.
flags too.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I ask my guides and spirit um, to help me with that as well,
Mm-hmm.
because I am I am such an empath. I'm such a kind person. that I struggle with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I always ask for help, and they do help me.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting to me because I am a very kind, caring, compassionate person, but
Hmm.
I'm also like, if you wrong me, you are done. Like, I'm done with you. So,
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's like this.
yeah.
This back and forth thing that happens within me sometimes, but yeah, it's important for empaths, empathetic people, just kind, caring people to understand that it is okay when to cut people off or to hold
Hmm.
people accountable or call people out when they
Right,
are treating you badly.
right.
But sometimes it's hard to even recognize that because people, really perfect that manipulation
Hmm.
piece to themselves. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's definitely been a learning process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excellent. And so tell me about clairvoyant. How does that show up for you?
Um, I think I think it's a combination of all the different clairs for me that I use. Um, it's not that I'm just using one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I'm reading, and I had someone ask me this the other day, how do you do what you do? And it's so hard to explain it, to put it into words.
Yeah, it is.
Because I've been doing it for so long, it's just, it's second nature. But a lot of times, I will see things, I will hear things. Sometimes I'll scry with the tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. It's quite a combination for me of different types of psychic abilities. Mediumship comes in also with the cards. So yeah.
Yeah. And so for people that might be new to seeing, um, it's not that we're seeing with the physical eyes, although
Right.
sometimes there can be like a shadow or
Right.
a figure, but it's much more so with the third eye or second sight, or there's different
Right.
words out there for it, but it's like within your mind's eye you're seeing
Hmm.
something that
Hmm.
isn't your mind, it isn't
Right.
your brain, it's
Right. It's
uh
like it's almost like a photograph, I would
yeah.
say, in your
Mm-hmm.
mind that you see very clearly sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can describe a person or a thing to somebody because you're seeing it.
Yeah, and that's really neat because I see some, but
Hmm.
even when I'm seeing, I'm feeling what they're
Hmm.
saying.
Yeah,
It's
me
you're
too.
right. It is so hard to describe that, but
It is.
I will often say I feel like they're trying to show me, or I feel like
Hmm.
they're saying,
Hmm.
and because it's a feeling that they impress upon me as I might be picking up images or a
Right.
feeling
Right.
of what they look like. So it's just so interesting to hear how it works for different people.
Yeah. A lot of times it's a combination of things, and sometimes I'll hear names or words that I don't have any idea what they mean.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, oh, I can't say that because it sounds crazy or it doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
But I'm just the interpreter, is what I've learned. And I've learned to trust spirit. So when I hear something or see something, to just say it. And most of the time, the person that I'm reading for understands what that means. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing how it works.
Yeah, it really is. And, the neat thing that I've done over time is developed almost like a dictionary with my guides. So,
Oh,
for me, um, Dove is grandma. So
oh,
I
wow.
always associate Dove with my grandma. So if I
Hmm.
see the dove, I will actually say to them, I'm seeing a dove or hearing a dove, or I have the feeling of a dove. To me, that is grandma, but does a dove mean something else to you? Because to
Yeah.
you, a dove might mean peace or
Right.
something else. So I love that that clarification that, yeah, you're the interpreter, but giving it to the person is
Hmm.
the most important part of that, because what it means to them could be something completely different than to
Right.
you.
For example, I was doing a reading the other day, and I heard the word rose, and I saw a picture of a rose, and I thought it was a name, but there you're using your, thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm hearing the word rose, does that have any significance? I'm seeing a rose. And she said that it was her um, father had given her mother roses all the time.
Mm.
So, first I thought, okay, it's a name, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
The person knew exactly what that message meant for them.
Yeah,
So,
and that's the beautiful thing is when, yeah, you say the things and are noticing the things, and then they can take it like that.
yeah,
It's like, yep, that I know exactly who
yeah,
that is and why he's saying that and bringing that up, and
right.
that's, yeah, so
So,
cool.
learning to trust has been huge for me.
Mhm.
And just, also, and this is something that Deb has taught me, is not to judge what I'm doing, because we're very critical of ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves, and we want to do the best at what we do. But she always tells me we're not to judge our readings. We're
Mhm.
just the messenger.
Yeah.
And sometimes we connect, and sometimes we don't. We're not perfect, but we do our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many things that we can do, like you were saying, taking good care of ourselves is a
Hmm.
huge part of that, because there is such an energy expenditure that happens in sessions, and it's very emotional, and people are usually
Absolutely.
coming when their lives are in turmoil.
Right.
You're not looking for help when things are great.
No. No, no.
Yeah.
There's usually a
So,
lot of tears, and that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, tears are good.
It's healing.
And it's, yeah, so like you have to take care of you so that you can show up 100% to that reading. But
Hmm.
yeah, the other person's energy plays into that. Um, if they're nervous or closed off, or even just kind of like almost that second guessing being there, yeah,
Right.
it makes it next to impossible to connect.
Right. And I explain it as it's an exchange of energy.
Hmm.
I'm reading people's energies, but they have to give some back to me and let me know that I'm right or wrong.
Hmm.
I need to know that. So it's an exchange of energy. I try to explain it that way to people.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I used to organize a medium that came to my mom's house, and different people, like we'd book like 10 people to come in to see her throughout the day, and then there was another lady that did akashic readings and reiki. And I would always, I sat there and organized everything and took payment and did all of that,
Mhm.
but we would sit and talk of, this isn't for them to prove something to you. This is for
Mhm.
them to help you connect with answers, to help you connect with a loved one.
Mhm.
So there is a trust that has to happen between the people.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes.
not that we're saying, like, tell us what you
No.
want to know.
No. No.
It's a, hey, I need some feedback here
Feedback.
and
Yes,
some
that's
back
the
and
one.
forth
Yes.
to really connect with
Mhm.
your energy, but then the energy of your beings that are coming through too.
Right. And that makes for the best reading. And that's what I want for my clients, is the best reading for them.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
And I think, that's the why I wanted to put an expo together too, was that I wanted to bring people together that I trust, that I
Mhm.
myself go to, that I myself believe in, because that I do feel like that brings a greater trust to the
Yeah.
community when it's like, yeah, these people are vetted. They are not just, filling out the form and paying the
Mhm.
money and showing up. know what they're doing. They are good at what they do. And yeah, then like come check them out. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Um, so so tell me about kind of what you do in your day to day that brings in sacredness, intention, connection with spirit. Talk a little bit about what that looks like in your day to day life.
Um, I really I really try to take time for myself each day to, I call it decompress, where I just maybe sit outside in nature, listen to some music, whatever it is that I feel, is going to like ground me, center me. Um, because I'm around a lot of people in um my other job, and it can be very draining. So I need that time to like regroup,
Mm-hmm.
recharge. Um, I always try to practice gratefulness and gratitude in the
Mm-hmm.
morning and at night. So even if it's just 5 minutes, just saying, thank you, God, Spirit, Universe, for this, that, I'm so grateful for even the little things, could be a cup of coffee or,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just being truly grateful for having this gift and being able to use it um, is really a dream come true for me. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. So I do try to help people. Um, a lot of people come to me, you know, in public and at work, asking questions, asking for help, and I always try to help people.
Yeah.
Um, but it can be very draining.
Yes.
So I try to get enough sleep. I try to, um, stay hydrated, all those good things. Water is very healing for me. I like,
Mm.
to take a nice hot shower, a nice hot bath. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Those are
good,
great
take
tips
good
for
care of
people.
myself.
Yeah. And the gratitude that is so powerful. I
Right. It is.
am working on my book, and what I'm doing so I'm talking about the actual deaths that I've experienced. I'm talking about death through birth, and then death times that I wanted to die, because I've had a few times when I've been not overtly suicidal, but kind of more
Right.
of a passive suicidal.
Yeah.
And from that, then I'm writing the blessings and the lessons that I've experienced, and then including the exercises. And so, for one of my cousins, I was with him whenever he crossed into spirit, and I the exercise for that is gratitude, because I was
Mhm.
so grateful for him. He was one of my mentors. He got me this amazing internship when I was a
Oh,
sophomore in college that I probably should not have gotten, like just pulling strings where he needed to. And, after he died, I was like, I don't know that I thanked him enough for
mhm, mhm,
how much he meant to me. And so when we talk about gratitude, it is the day to day
mhm.
gratitude. I will often drive home from work and being like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because
Mhm.
my job is amazing. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to build this business in this way. But then also those bigger gratitudes of the people around us who
Right.
have meant so much to us.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm a big, big fan of gratitude
Me
here.
too. It's like I can't say it enough to people.
Mm-hmm.
I try to practice it every day, and it'll change your life.
Yeah.
It absolutely will change your life. Because if you're not grateful for what you have now, you won't get anything more. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not appreciative and thankful for what you have. I truly believe that. So
Yeah.
the more you practice that, um, the more amazing your life will be.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Hmm.
And excuse me, I had like 2 ice cream cones.
Ooh.
So
What flavor did
the
you have?
chocolate, it was, oh my gosh, it was super fudge brownie,
Ooh,
so good.
sounds amazing.
My niece's birthday party was today, and
Aw.
she had a monkey cake, and it was so cute. And
Oh, well, happy birthday to her.
yeah, she turned 4. She's like the cutest little thing ever.
Oh.
So, yeah, excuse the little chocolate coming back up. um, so, with that gratitude, the other piece of that I like to remind people of too is really, so adding in the why. So I am thankful for this cup of coffee because I love the
Mhm.
taste, I love the smell, it wakes me up in the morning, and then actually feeling that gratitude.
Mhm. That's
Excuse me. Because when we feel it, that amplifies
mhm.
that response from the universe even more, because
Yeah,
that's what we do in manifestation too. It
absolutely.
is, you have to feel
Mhm.
as you are talking about what it is that you want in your life.
Right. Absolutely. That's a good point.
And you're really good at manifesting, so let's talk about that real quick.
Well, thank you. I try.
Yeah. Do you use the same kind of technique with like a morning and night, or do you write things
Um,
down?
yeah, I'm a big writer. Writing for me is, kind of releasing it out into, the universe. But I always write it in the present tense,
Mm-hmm.
which is very important because you want to feel as if it's already here.
Yeah.
Um, if you're saying it's in the future, you're never going to get it. You have to feel like it's here and believe that it's here. And if you can, and then, like you said, the feeling. So you want to write it and be very specific because the universe doesn't know. It might know what we want, but it's not going to give it to us unless we ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
has to be very specific. So yeah, write it down. Um, and then read it, maybe once, twice a day, and get that feeling of excitement and happiness as if it's already here. Believe that it's here and it will happen. It'll manifest.
Yeah. I love that. And yeah, present tense, so important because
And a
time
grateful
is,
and then gratefulness, of course.
yes, yes. And yeah, because time doesn't really exist. I love those memes that I
It
like.
doesn't. It's
I'm
it's
going to
a
go to this party and I'm going to be
thing.
cool and calm and collected. And then it's like me 10 minutes later, time is just an illusion. And yeah, that is often me. But yeah, so, being very specific of,
Mhm.
it is happening now, it is happening in by this date, and
Mhm.
those kinds of things is so key. Which reminds me, I have not visited my list in a while, and I need to get back to that because I
Yeah.
think I've hit what I wrote last, and so I want to,
Isn't that amazing?
I know,
It's
it's
amazing.
incredible to
Hmm.
me when I look back at my
And then you need to revamp it because
mhm,
you've already manifested that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I like to start off with, I am so happy and grateful that whatever.
100%, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because if it's what we want, then yeah, we're going to be happy and grateful for
Yeah.
that happening.
Yeah.
And I like adding into this or something even better, because
Yes.
sometimes I feel like
Excellent.
my little pea human
Mhm.
brain can't comprehend the amazingness that is out
Right.
there, that
We
is
can.
possible to me. So,
Very true.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
to throw that in there too.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I also started throwing into when I'm talking about so I've been talking a lot about financial opportunities and possibilities, because I want to get on bigger stages and
Hmm.
access more people. It's the reason why I'm doing the podcast, why I'm writing the book, because I want to share the message of alchemizing grief, moving through our grief journeys. And I don't know what all of the opportunities are
Right, you
out
have
there, or
no
even the
idea.
possibilities. So
Right.
I want to stay open to that. So I will say
Mhm.
expected, because yeah, like I know I can contact local bookstores
Mhm.
and ask to do a presentation, or local libraries and do a presentation. Unexpected. So those are those ways that I'm not yet sure about, and
Right.
exciting ways, because that's always fun too. When, you win, my husband won $100 on a Father's Day lottery ticket today.
Awesome.
And, that
Awesome.
wasn't expected. We did not wake up saying, like, I'm going to win $100 on a lottery
Right.
ticket today.
Right. You got to be open for whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So, unexpected and exciting ways. So
Awesome.
I've started adding that on to the tail end of everything that I'm writing out as well. So
Mhm.
I like to throw that in for people,
Yeah.
because there's lots of questions out there about what does manifesting mean, and, what
Mhm.
does putting things out into the universe mean. And it's that, yeah, like really getting into your heart of hearts and saying, like, I would love to have this, or see this, or be this in
Mhm.
my life. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. What else do you want to share today? What else is fun and exciting about Cat?
Um, I don't know what. um, I guess I'm just really passionate about what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the tarot is my favorite divination tool. But I have explored a couple of other things, but I think I'll always incorporate the tarot in my readings. Um, I do. I have done more mediumship. I would say, like in the past 5 years, I've really delved into the mediumship side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been really exciting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And what do you like about the mediumship? Why are you drawn
well,
to offering that for people?
to be honest with you, at first, I was a little afraid of it, and not because I was scared of it, but I was because I'm so emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that maybe it would be so emotional for me that I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then I realized that I was helping people
Yeah.
and helping people connect with their loved ones. And it was actually a good thing. It was actually healing and happy and joyful for them
Mm-hmm.
to be able to connect. So once I realized that, it just came so quickly and easily. And I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many misconceptions and things around
Hmm.
mediumship and connecting. And I truly do believe that we all have that ability.
I do
There
too. Absolutely.
are, or there are people that are more aware of it, more in
Hmm.
tune to it, have done the work around developing those skills. Like we were talking about, it kind of is like a different language. When I said I have a
Yeah.
dictionary
Yeah.
for how I communicate with spirit, like, yeah, it's like kind of like a different language.
Right.
And so, because you've spent time there, because I've spent time there, it does come a little bit in clearer, faster. But I
Hmm.
love helping people
Hmm.
find that and
Right.
within themselves, and to be able to do that for themselves. And it's just so amazing to see. I mean, I know, I'm sure you feel it too, but you feel that heart healing
You
happening
do. You
in
do.
that moment.
Yeah, it's definitely healing for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I've been
And I
getting a lot of um, chest pains, and it's not like before I was getting chest pains and I was like, ooh, I need to go to the ER. And like these
Mhm.
are, I just feels like my heart is like hurting for other people. And
Aw.
then, hurting for myself too, because it's just, with Bodhi dying and writing this
Mhm.
book, it's pulling up all of the
Emotions.
grief and all of those emotions and things. And but it's been interesting, because then when I'm in session with people, I'm just kind of more aware of it, I think. And so I
Mhm.
really, really, even more than I've ever been before, tapped into kind of feeling the heart healing in the moments.
Mhm.
I've always felt other people's pain,
Mhm.
but not necessarily the heart healing. So it's been really, really cool to be noticing that in the moments in sessions with people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's can be a little scary sometimes. I'm like, is it radiating down my arm? Nope, nope. I
Yeah.
think it's just my.
Sometimes I'll feel pain when I'm connecting with, during mediumship, I'll feel pain of where they were injured or how they
Yes,
passed.
how they
And
died.
it
Hmm.
can be very startling, but then you just have to disconnect and realize that it's not mine.
Yeah,
It's just I'm just feeling it.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, for sure. I'll get the the sharp head pain, with an
Mhm.
aneurysm or something, and it's like,
Right.
oh well,
Right.
that's not mine. That's not mine. But
Right.
yeah, whenever you don't know that and you aren't aware of that, when I worked in the hospital and you work in the medical field too, holy
Hmm.
crap, that was a nightmare
It is.
because
Yeah.
I was feeling everybody's stuff and was so drained and so depleted and did not understand why.
Yeah.
And that was when I left after I had my second son. I was like, "Oh, I was taking on
It's hard. It's so hard to
everybody's
do.
stuff for
Yeah.
years."
It's
So,
it's very draining and it's really hard to protect your energy, but
mhm.
I try.
Yeah, I'm so much better at it now. So I didn't share earlier, just for the people listening so that they can implement this. I call in the blue light of Angel Michael
Oh, okay.
and ask him to help me observe and no longer absorb other people's energy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I do that every morning. Oh my goodness, excuse me. When when my alarm goes off, I hit snooze, and in those 5 minutes, I call in that blue light of Angel Michael. I do some visualization and intention setting for the day, and then I get up and go about my day. So that's something that I do every single morning, and it truly did change my life whenever I implemented that. It's been 11 years ago now that I
Wow.
started doing that. So very, very transformative. And I do try to teach everybody that because most of the people that I see are empaths, big
Mhm.
feelers,
Mhm.
taking on other people's stuff. So it's
Yeah,
important to pay attention to.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So at the expo, you are offering your 30-minute readings
Yes.
for $80. And that is fantastic because her tarot readings are spectacular. So
Thank
we
you.
do have her information there so that you can find her if you would like to pre-book for the expo. And you can find her YouTube channel. Are you still doing how often are you doing the readings on Face or YouTube?
Um, Not as often as I would like, but
Okay.
I do them, occasionally. That's something I would like to do more regularly. But it's been about 8 years since I had my YouTube channel, and I have over 4,000 subscribers, so it's a pretty big audience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I would
Yeah,
love
I
to
think I have about
do.
100. So
It's hard. It's
it
hard. You have
is.
to, it's a lot of work, but
Mm-hmm.
I love doing videos. It's just hard to find the time.
Yeah.
But if anyone has any suggestions as to what they would like to see on my YouTube channel, I would you know, love to hear that.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I also have my Facebook page that I post regularly on there as well.
Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
yes, definitely find her, check her out. And if you have any questions for either one of us, please reach out. Our information will be in the show notes and in the descriptions on each of these. And if you are local, you can find her in Reynoldsville, PA, and she'll be at the expo in Punxsutawney. And then she does do her readings over the phone or over Zoom or, whatever kind of connection media is needed for that particular person.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just so happy that you're going to be part of it this year.
Well, thank you. And
Yeah.
I want to shout out to Deb at Crystal Cauldrons.
Mhm.
That's where I do my in-person readings. But I also do phone readings, Skype, whatever.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Crystal Cauldrons is the name of the shop in Reynoldsville. Thank you for reminding me that I didn't say
that's
that.
okay.
And yes, and Deb is there and she will be at the expo. I'm still trying to convince her to do an interview and amazing palm reader over there, and then
Amazing.
Kathy is there, and then I'm over there. Sometimes I'm doing classes over there, usually every couple months, and then we have Arthur that comes down from New York once a month, and so it's a great little shop place to check out, and it's just readings and classes only. You already have all met Raven, and she's the one that has all the items and things for sale, so.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So we will see you at the expo. And if anybody needs anything in the meantime or wants to pre book with Kathy, please reach out. And we thank you all for listening and watching today. Bye.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.